that says this is what's important in this administration. One, we're going to be a nation that respects civil rights. We're going to be a nation that respects affirmative action. As president, I would close down Guantanamo the first day in office. Guantanamo. I would restore habeas corpus. I would say America is not going to be a nation known for torture, which is what we have used in some cases. I would be America. I would be an America that says we're going to rejoin the International Criminal Court. That I am going to be an America. We're going to be an America that respects the Geneva Convention. I would also say that I would be a president that respects the civil rights of all people. And that includes based on race, on gender, and sexual orientation. I would do that. I would also say that our foreign policy would be a foreign policy where we respect international institutions, where we're going to say to the United Nations, we want to rejoin you in a concrete way, but you've got to reform some of your outdated practices, UN. I would also say that the United States is now going to deal with issues like Darfur, like international poverty, like AIDS and refugees, things that we don't want to talk about. I believe that Iowa can be at the center of an international effort to improve the agricultural policies and renewable energy policies of the third world. You used to do that with Norman Borlaug and the Green Revolution, but somehow our foreign aid program has de-emphasized agriculture. Our foreign aid program has de-emphasized nutrition and agricultural programs in favor of big dams and building roads. And I believe that Iowa could be at the center of an international effort, not just to bring back a green revolution, but bring back green and renewable energy.
Yeah. You know what? Closer to home, we got a new grandson in Texas. I'd like to go see him. Can't afford the gas. Yeah.
This is what I would do on energy. We are so dependent on foreign oil, 65%. Your gas prices, our gas prices are, the average is now this morning, I think, 326. And it probably will go up again. I would say to the American people, if I'm elected president, we're going to have an Apollo program to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. And I'm going to ask every one of you to participate in that program. I'm going to ask each one of you to maybe sacrifice a little bit. Yeah, I'm using that word that is not politically popular. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to tell you to shut your heat off or wear a sweater all the time, but that you be more energy conscious and more energy efficient every day in your daily life, just some small step. But this is what I would do. I would say we're going to have a goal, like John F. Kennedy said, in going from, in 10 years, going to the moon. I remember Kennedy. I'm not that old, but I remember him. And I remember he called on us to do something for the country, not just for ourselves. And he had big goals. This would be my goal. We're going to go from 65% imported oil on fossil fuels to 10%. We're going to do it in 10 years. And we're going to do it by doing the following. One, public and private investment in renewable technologies and renewable fuels. What is renewable technology? Solar, wind, biomass, distributed generation, fuel cells, biodiesel, biofuels, ethanol. Yes, corn-based ethanol. We shift from 65 to 10% into those fuels, into that technology. We do it in 10 years with tax incentives, with government funds, with an American people that says we are now going to have a new technology, and it's called working with the auto companies to develop 100-mile-per-gallon plug-in hybrid vehicle. It's going to be also 50 miles per gallon within 5 years. 50 miles per gallon. in vehicles. And it's going to be new technology. We have to do that. We have to reduce greenhouse gas emissions that are starving and hurting this planet. 90% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. And by 2030, a reduction of 30%. So what I am proposing is bold. I've outlined my energy plan, and here's where you fit in, where we all fit in. I'm asking every American to give in a little bit, to be more energy efficient in our homes, with lighting, with air conditioning, washing machines, with our vehicles. Maybe, take the subway, although there aren't too many subways. But this is another thing, rural areas. We haven't had a president that cares about transportation policy. We need to deal with the major cities and land use policy. Here you have open space, and that's wonderful. But nationally, we've got to have a president that cares more than just building super highways, existing potholes, but also looks at light rail, also looks at monorail, also looks at energy efficient transportation, land use policies, smart growth, so that we can continue in this country to have sensible future ways in which we live. I go to Miami, I go to Los Angeles, I go to New York. Huge, the biggest issues there, traffic, congestion, safety. We got to have a president that plans new transportation, energy efficient routes in the future.
Can we really do all that without any nuclear energy?
Can we do that with?
You meet those rules.
I believe we can, and I'm not saying that you exclude anybody, but our energy policy has favored coal, it's favored oil and natural gas and nuclear. I would favor renewable energy.
I'm going to ask a healthcare question. You want to go first?
No, let him go first,
Okay,
and then
he's
you.
got a foreign policy thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Yeah.
Governor, getting back to Korea, one of the things that deeply concerns me in Northeast Asia is Kim Jong-il developing a nuclear capability, one that is beyond just a capability, now perhaps getting into this. And as a result of that, do you think we need to reinforce our position on the DMZ?
Excellent question. I precisely, when I was in North Korea, and our negotiators too from the State Department, are saying to North Korea, look, if you dismantle your nuclear weapons, you're maybe 5 or 6, if you stop your continued efforts to build nuclear bombs, in exchange, we will do the following for you. We will sign an armistice agreement ending the Korean War. We'll give you food, fuel. This is the poorest nation on earth. We'll lift sanctions, but you've got to dismantle your nuclear weapons. Now, I do believe that, just for future reference, that at the DMZ, where we have 27,000 troops, that if North Korea doesn't take these steps, we may want to upgrade them. But I do believe we are heading in a positive way with North Korea, because we talk to them directly. I say to them, I've had this conversation with President Bush. I've said, Mr. President, for years you didn't talk to North Korea, and it didn't work. Now we talk to them directly, and there's some progress. Why don't you talk to Syria? Why don't you talk to Iran? It's called diplomacy. And he responded. He said, I don't talk to countries that exhibit bad behavior. My response to that is pretty soon we'll be talking to only the Vatican. And I have to say, President Bush, we were together in a dinner. He had hosted all the governors, and I said that to him. And he looked at me and said, Richardson, that was pretty good. He's got a little sense of humor.
I just want to know